Good day, welcome to the lecture series, Learn Unreal Engine 5.7.2 for Beginners. This video shows you how to create a rotating object in Unreal Engine 5.7.2.
Okay, so let's create an obstacle for this game. So you go here, you go in a content folder, right click, create a new folder. Let's call this folder obstacles. Double click and go in the folder. Right click, click blueprint class. You're going to choose actor. I would call this obstacle BP. Double click to open it up. Now let's add a component. Let's add a static mesh. So I can type in static mesh and search for it, but I'm already seeing it here. So just click this for the static mesh. So let's rename this obstacle mesh. You can give it whatever name that you want, but I'm just giving it this name. Well, this is the static mesh here. We need to put a static mesh here, but we don't have one yet. So let's create a mesh. This is just a simple mesh. I'll create. I'll choose cylinder to go here. Choose cylinder, doesn't really matter. 0.5. And then I'll come here. Press R on the keyboard. Just expand this. And then I'll put a texture on this to make this like a wooden pole. So I'll go back to startup content. Go to materials. Look for the wood material. That's like this. Click this. Click the material. So now it looks like this is some kind of wooden pole or something like that, to that effect. Start view. So what I'll do, so now that this is selected, I will go to Tools, Merge Actors, and I need to choose a folder with the save this as. I'll go to Obstacles. I just call this wooden pole. Click Save. Then close up this. So now in this folder here, we have the obstacle BP, the obstacle blueprint class, which is the actor class that we previously created, and we now have this pole as a static mesh. So we could delete this, and we could drag this pole here. So now we have to go back to the blueprint. We'll keep this empty because I'll make this obstacle BP the parent class, and I'll add the static mesh, the actual mesh, in the instances of this obstacle. So this will be the parent, and the instances will hold the actual static mesh. So now let's add, like, let's say a box collision. So let's type box. So why are we creating a box collision? So when we play games in Unreal, so when we look at a character, what we really see is the mesh. But how the character actually interacts with other characters is because there's some form of collision object, like let's say a box collision, that intersect with each other. So when a character is walking and a character is walking on a surface, they're really walking on a box, some kind of invisible box. So we are creating a box collision. So when this obstacle moves or do any kind of thing, it will hit another object, and it will really be the box collision hitting another object. But what the player will see is the static mesh. So let's just name this obstacle. Let's right click, and we want to add a beginning overlap event. Now, the reason why we choose this event is because we want this event to trigger when there's a collision with this box. So when another actor or other asset collides with this box, we want some event to trigger or occur. So the first thing we'll do, we will check to see if this other actor is equal to our player character. Get player character. So the next thing we want to do is to create a branch node. So how to do this, the shortcut way is to press on the keyboard, press B, then left click. So we know we can do the long way, right click, and then type branch. You can do it like this, but the short way is to just hold down B on the keyboard and left click. So I'll delete this, I'll delete this. Then I'll just connect this, and I'll connect this. Press Q. Okay, surprisingly I took this without align. Okay. So we go here. I need to launch the character. So observe that when you just start typing launch, we didn't even type the whole word launch. We just typed in LA and you was able to see launch and you was able to select this node. So I'll move this here. Essentially what this will do, this will launch the character. In other words, it will make the character look like it has been pushed. Let's go back here. Let's create a child class for this blueprint. So there's more than one way to do this. You can go to blueprint or classes, and let's just look for this. Select and call this child obstacle BP. So you have this selected, double click and open it up. Now since this is the child class, it already has all the components that it has in the parent class. So these are the components in the parent class. The components are automatically in the child class. Whatever changes we make here, whatever changes we make overall in this parent class will automatically be inherited in the child class. And of course, the child will work similar to, like, let's say an instance where we can make slight changes without affecting the parent class. So go here. In this child class, we will select the obstacle mesh here. So what we'll do, have this selected. And now we go to the static mesh here, and we put the obstacle mesh in a child class. And we're doing this so that we can go in every child class and we could change the obstacle mesh as we see fit without having to change the obstacle mesh in the parent class. So what we need to do next is resize the obstacle box to the size of the, let's say, the obstacle mesh. This mesh here, this is a static mesh. Press R on the keyboard. We need to resize this. Why? Because this box here will be colliding with the character in the game, and this will be used to, like, let's say the obstacle to hit the character and push the character away. So the player will see this inside. They will see static mesh, but the static mesh is not really hitting the player. What will be hitting the player will be the obstacle box. Press D. Take this 90. We observe that when we rotated the obstacle, the static mesh here, the box also rotated. So we want this obstacle to be a rotating obstacle. So let's add, type in rotating. rotating movement. So we want this to rotate. So the rotating rate, let's put it at 100. So that's the speed of the rotation. So press compile, press save. This is the child, so we'll place the child in the level. I'm just going to put this here. Press play. You see the obstacle is rotating and it's hitting our character. So the collision object is working. The box collision is working. So we are having some kind of weird camera issue just now there. So let's fix that. So go back to the blueprint. So let's go to the parent blueprint. Go to the viewport. Make sure we have the mesh selected. Custom. And for the camera, we select overlap. Click save. So we save. Now let's compile. Now we want to put a hit impact on the character such that when the character gets hit with the obstacle, they will like tilt in a certain direction. We are in the parent blueprint. Let's go to the event graph. So we get here the obstacle mesh, we drag it, and we need to get the physics angular velocity in degrees. Get physics angular velocity in degrees. This is important because this will allow the program, will allow Unreal to know which direction to pelt your character in when it gets hit with the object. Now we need to get a multiplier operator. That's it here. From the sweep result, we need to break the structure. Break hit result. So the information we want is the impact point. So the impact point is here. We'll run this through here. So the information we want is the impact point, and we will multiply this. This is the multiply node by the angular velocity. So then we come here, type make rotation from Z. Then we drag here, type multiply. Okay, we need to put a value here, so let's just put a value. Let's just try 100. So now we have to plug this here into launch velocity. So I'll just drag. Let's make this a bit more organized. So this is how it will look now. The blueprint. Press Alt, break. Need to turn this pin into a vector. What I'll do, I'll press Alt, left click, I'll break this. Turn this pin to a vector. And then put this inside here. Try to make sure this works. That's how it's looking. So I'll press compile. Then I'm going to play. Let's see if it's working. So it's spinning. It's pushing me in a certain direction. And it's working. Press escape. Now suppose we want 2 of these obstacles in the game. and we want the two obstacles to be operating at different speeds. And this is normal when you're playing, if you like, video games. You have two obstacles, they're moving at different speeds, they're going at different angles, and so forth. So we want to change the speed of the rotating obstacle, but we do not want the rotating obstacles to have the same speed. So how do we do this? Well, let's go back to the blueprint. So we are in the parent blueprint. We need to create a variable. You call this variable speed. Well, let's call it obstacle speed. And the type of thing should be float. So we have this created, press compile. So after we have pressed compile, we can now set the default value for the obstacle. So we'll set this default value to 100 because that's the same value we was using here for the rotation rate. That's the speed. So we are now in the child blueprint. So we need to go here to the event graph, right click, type begin event, begin play. So we want this. So what we'll do, we'll get this, the rotating movement. I need to set rotation rate. So we'll drag this here with the right click and split the spin because we want to access these things separately. We really want to access this, the Z value will determine the rate in which the object will spin, at least for this obstacle. So I'll move down this and we need to get the speed, what we call the speed variable, obstacle speed. So we right click, I get obstacle speed. And drag it across here. Now we need to go back to the parent blueprint. We have the speed variable selected. Make sure this is selected, edit this on every instance. I make sure this is also selected. Make sure you see it. So now let's go back here. We should be able to adjust the speed. Alright, so this one, the obstacle speed here, let's set this to 150. And this one, the obstacle speed, let's leave this at 100. Press play and see if it's working. So we can already see that the obstacle in front is moving way faster than the obstacle in the back. They are not moving at the same time, I can tell you this. So it's working. So there you have it. That's how to set up obstacles in Unreal Engine. I mean, you could always change the static mesh with something that you want. So you could change from this cylinder to, let's say, a blade or some kind of other obstacle, but we will cover this for this tutorial. So I will end this video here. Thank you. Okay, so now let's create another obstacle. Let this be a rotating wheel. Alright, so I press E. The wheel will rotate going around on this axis. So to make this save. So to make this rotate, we need to create a blueprint class for it. So let's go to props. Here I'll create the blueprint class for this. right click and select blueprint class. Of course, you know the class we're supposed to choose is actor. I'll just call this rotating wheel. Double click to open. So the first thing we'll do, we'll add a static mesh. That's this. I'll call this wheel. Now for this situation, we will actually put a static mesh here. So to make a static mesh, double click this, go to here, then click this, make static mesh. Let's call this static mesh wheel. So it's here, copy, paste, delete. So now that we have the static mesh, what we will do, go back here, we have the static mesh selected. And that's the mesh there. Okay, so I'll just press compile. All right, so go back here to the mesh. Then we need to add the rotating movement component. You could give this a name. I'm not going to give this a name because I already know that this will be the rotating movement component. So I'll click this. So we want to rotate this in the y-axis. So this is the x-axis. We can see here it marked roll degrees around x-axis. This one marks yaw degrees around z-axis. This has pitch degrees around y-axis. Let's put a number around 50. Let's put 100 because the last one was 100. So the next thing you have to do is go to the event graph. So you will get the event begin play. So that's to type in begin and see the event begin play here. So you bring across here the rotating movement, and now you're going to set the rotating rate. Drag this here, right click and split the structure. For the y parameter, we need to promote this to a variable. So right click and promote to a variable. So we will name this variable. We call it speed, but I want to give it like, let's say wheel speed. Then I want to press compile. And after you press compile, we can now edit this. You can put this at 100. Make sure you have instant editable clicked. Make sure you have this expose on spawn clicked. Keep saving. Compile. So we make all these changes. So we have done all this. So we have this selected. Now what? Let's go to the blueprint. So we select this. Make sure the rotating wheel, the blueprint is selected here. Right click. Replace actors with the blueprint. So now we have the blueprint here instead. To see if it's working, we press play. See if the wheel is spinning. Okay, it's working, but it's spinning on the wrong axis. Go up to the blueprint, double click. Compile. 0, 100, save, compile, press play. There you have it, it's spinning in the correct direction. Of course, if you wanted to rotate the other direction, you can just make the wheel turn 180 degrees. So you have an obstacle there. So let's decrease the speed. Like wheel. Alright, so because we created a variable, the variable name was wheel speed, you can now find it easily by typing wheel and put this value as 50. Press enter, play, and see how this works. Now it's spinning and spinning in a slower, spinning at a slower rate. So there we have it. That's another way to create a rotating obstacle in Unreal. So I'll end this video here. Thank you.
Well, that brings us to the end of today's lecture. Do you want to know more? Like and subscribe. You can also contact us, Impulse Response Enterprises Ltd.